Oh, they went at the same time. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, everybody.
Give it just a minute here. It's another Saturday.
Saturday, and it's 10 o'clock.
Where you are.
Where you are.
It's 7 o'clock where we are.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll tell you about our new location in the 6th week of our Coffee Talk with the K's. We are in Newport Beach, California, and we are right on the beach. Right behind us here, there's the ocean, sun's coming up, surfers are going out, just keep on walking by us or jogging by us with their boards, which has been pretty fun to watch, and they're gonna hit the surf. But this is a really cool location today for our 6th and final coffee talk before we do other things.
Exactly. Yep. Definitely. This is kind of surfers' paradise here.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun to watch them. But today we want to talk to you guys about what we really feel is the key to maintaining good health and just, good overall health. If you're facing anything that you're like, I'm not feeling well, maybe you don't have necessarily a diagnosis, or maybe you do, but you're thinking, I don't know where to even begin. This is where you start. This is kind of number one for everything.
This kind of brings all the information we've gone over when we talked about fiber, when we've talked about hormones, and we've talked about exercise and lots of things. This is the end all be all, really. This is where the new information is coming out. They're drastically doing new studies in this field. So this information that we're giving today, even though there's the changes that you can make are fairly simple, it's having a huge impact on the body as a whole, and they're just really redirecting a lot of information this way.
Yes. So the key is gut health. It all comes down to maintaining healthy guts, and we want to tell you exactly why this is and how you do that. So you have to think of it, we're finding that you have literally an entire ecosystem within your body. You have the good guys and you have the bad guys, good bacteria, bad bacteria, and they have to eat. It's kind of like, we were talking about this last night, it's kind of like having pets inside of you. You have to feed them. If you don't feed them, they will find other ways to eat, or they'll turn on you, or they die.
Right.
It's pretty simple.
And remember, bacteria, single-cell organisms been around since the beginning of time. They will evolve quick. They are constantly changing, but they symbiotically live in our bodies, okay? It's a mutualistic relationship. It should be mutualistic, where we benefit from them and they benefit from us. And there's about 100 bacteria to every one human cell in your body. So you are full of bacteria. And that's not a bad thing. It's supposed to be a good thing. They can be a good extra lining in your intestines for immune protection from from inflammation, from other issues that can arise. So they need to eat properly, we need to feed them properly, and then also in tune, it will protect our bodies and obviously feed our cells what we need to eat.
Yes, exactly. So what do they eat, the good guys? Well, this is a really good way for you to know if you have good or bad that are in control, because you really want about 85% of them to be good to the 15 bad. You're always going to have the bad because we don't always eat the best. And
you're exposed to things. Yeah,
exactly.
Bacteria is everywhere.
You're always going to have some of the bad, but the good eat vegetables and some fruits and some fibers. They eat that fiber, and the bad eat sugar. So the way to know,
to keep it real simple that way.
Do I have a good healthy bacteria in my guts? Is what do you crave? Whoever is in control in there is going to run the show. So if you're craving sugar, it's safe to say that you probably have a buildup of the bad bacteria, and you really need to get that under control. If you are eating healthy and you crave vegetables, I don't know about you guys, but when we're eating healthy, I do not ever crave sugar, and I crave like vegetables and the good healthy things, and water and just all that good stuff. So that lets you know that the good guys have taken over and they're in control, which is really essentially what you want for good health.
Yeah. Well, it's really important. What we're finding now is that the stomach, the bacteria actually communicate through the vagus nerve to your brain. So it can alter mood. It can actually change your cravings. It can actually make you feel bad so that it will direct you towards food, or make you feel good as you get that food. You know,
Yes.
bacteria are smart. Like I said, they evolve constantly. They've been around forever.
Yeah.
And they are not going to just die off because whatever. They will change. They will manipulate. They will run the host cell that they're in. So you have to feed them properly. You have to be conscious of that, because they will kind of, sometimes you can't trust your emotions because you're just not feeding your body properly. So that's where you really want to make sure you're putting the good stuff in as your first line of defense.
Exactly. If you're not, if you're just taking a probiotic supplement, what happens if you're eating bad? Well, they don't make it. It's a waste
Right.
of money. If that's the case for you, that you're just taking a probiotic, you need to make sure, and you're not eating healthy, you have to have a prebiotic and a probiotic in one. They have to be together because you have no food. You have no
And
food for it.
Our favorite word over these last 6 weeks has always been fiber, right?
Fiber.
Fiber, which was so strong in the diet hundreds of years ago. It's just kind of getting less and less and less because we don't find time to eat raw roughage. You have to feed your bacteria. You have to give them fiber. That is
Yes.
food for your probiotics.
If you're not feeding your healthy gut bacteria and you've put probiotics in there, well, a lot of them will die if you're not feeding them. The other ones will turn against you, and what happens is they have to have food, and they will start to feed on the mucosal lining of the intestinal tract. A lot of people don't realize that. What's the the implications of doing that? Well, you get micro tears, you get holes within the intestinal lining, which is not supposed to have any of that. And then long-term effects are your food and the toxins, bacteria, fungus, things like that that grow within your body start to seep through those holes, and they get into the bloodstream. This is a major problem, and this is a key that they're finding now to so many chronic diseases. If you are one of those people that are, maybe your doctor can't figure out what's going on with you, you got weird symptoms, you don't feel well, kind of
Strange autoimmune.
autoimmune things, that is your body attacking itself. It's got stuff within the blood that is not supposed to be in the blood, basically. We're simplifying everything, obviously, but that's ultimately what's happening. And
Your microbiome in the intestine should protect that layer from
Yes.
leaking into the gut. Like it shouldn't be able to get through that intestinal wall, because not only your natural mucosa is there, but that layer of good flora should actually be a layer of immunity and protection for you as well.
Yeah, so you do not want that stuff within the blood. Not only that, but we're talking about autism, ADHD, dementia, Alzheimer's, depression. What's happening is those toxins then, once they're in the bloodstream, they're able to cross the blood-brain barrier. We don't want things crossing that, you guys. That's where then toxins are reaching the brain, and they're building up within the brain, and now we're finding all of these other weird chronic things are happening. So how do you fix it? That's kind of like, whoa, bad news.
Right. That's sometimes the tricky part.
What do we do? What do we do to
Prevention
fix
is
it?
always the best, right? So that's where I always trying
Exactly.
to help people make smart decisions on a large scale, right? So it's a lifestyle. So obviously things might slip here and there, and you're going to do some things here and there, but we want to try to balance everything out.
Yeah.
So if there's some small changes that you can make right now, and maybe you are struggling with some of these things, you're not getting the results that you want with whatever.
Skin disorders, things like that. I mean, we're talking like eczema, psoriasis, weird things. And this is not always a guarantee that you change is going to fix like this, but this is a very important
Maybe
first step to get
the symptoms
to getting
reduce
this.
slightly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're talking autoimmune. One thing to keep in mind though is fermented food is key, and we'll tell you that a couple more times. But what's happened is refrigeration, which is a great invention.
It's a great invention. It's a good thing in many ways.
It's really good. But what happened was when refrigeration was invented and came about, people started preserving their food, and the way that they used to preserve it is by fermenting it. And so, we didn't have refrigeration, so they would ferment their food, and we would get all of this healthy bacteria in our bodies. And now nobody eats fermented foods.
Right.
A lot of people are like, gross, sauerkraut, ugh.
Yeah.
But we eat a ton of
Kimchi,
sauerkraut. Yeah.
yeah.
It's really it's super important for your body. And just so you can have kind of a better understanding of this, about one probiotic or one dose of probiotics will give you, you're lucky to find like a 10 billion strain of probiotics in a supplement, but one serving of a fermented vegetable will give you at least 10 trillion probiotics. So it always comes down to the food. Like we're always, we tell people, yeah, you probably need a supplement for this, but it comes
just
down
to help
to
assist, but
the
it's food. You got to try to get
It's
everything
gotta
you
be the
need
food.
from food. We have it all available to us. I know sometimes it's hard, we get busy, it's hard to prep, it's hard to do things like that, but if we can get the good stuff from food, we will feel
That's
better.
where you really want to get it. Exactly. So the foods are, like I said, what are fermented foods? That would be kimchi, tempeh. It's going to be your sauerkraut, which we buy our sauerkraut already done. I mean, you can buy all these foods
Whole
now.
Foods.
They have them at Whole Foods. Farmhouse Cultures is the one that we always choose.
Mm-hmm.
And we throw it in things. You can take canned salmon if you are like a tuna fish sandwich type person and mix it up with sauerkraut. Get it in, basically. Always get it in.
Yeah.
And then what are some other ones? Oh, kefir.
Kefir.
Kefir is a really, really good one. I don't know, I'm trying to think of what some other ones are.
And you can ferment other
foods.
vegetables
You
other
can
ways too.
ferment
I mean, there's a lot of
basically
things you can look up
anything.
online and really, really go over it. So
Yes. Somebody just said something about kombucha. Kombucha is a really good one, but you have to be careful because it does contain quite a bit of sugar just because in the fermenting process of kombucha, if you've ever made it from home, it does require a ton of sugar and the bacteria eats it, but there is a lot of sugar that does remain in it. So I do not recommend
So
that
just
you do
balance that out.
kombucha all the time.
Yeah.
Don't make that like a staple in your diet. Try to get it from other foods, but that is a good one because
That's
it
a good
does
one.
have some good active cultures
Yeah.
in it. Yes, it's 7:00. Somebody just
yeah, somebody asked us what time it is. It's 7:00 here.
It's
so
7 here.
and like we said, it's gorgeous where we are. I mean, we are
Yes.
right on the beach.
Loving it.
This is a beautiful beach. This is at 56th and 57th Street, which is like a really hot spot for big surf here in Newport.
Yeah, we can
And
hear
they've
their
had
little feet come running by.
huge waves this week. So
It's been fun to watch them.
yeah, it's been really fun.
Okay, I'm trying to think if there was anything else we wanted to say. Well, I just want to say one more thing about this. It's key because of the blood-brain barrier, you guys, too. This toxicity that's getting into the blood and it's crossing over, and a lot of our mental health things that we don't have a great grasp on treating. Make that key to really address the guts, because we're finding that, and there's tons of research that's coming out about this.
This is a lot of new stuff.
Pretty new. It's been
More
really
new stuff is going to come out. More things that
unfolding rapidly with
Yeah.
this information. But bone broth is another one that's really important if you really want to heal up the lining, if you have those intestinal tears and things, the leaky gut, if it's starting to leak into your bloodstream, that kind of thing. Bone broth contains collagen. Collagen is what repairs the lining. So that's why we always recommend, we drink bone broth like tea
right
in our house.
So basically, I mean, the basic, to keep this simple, is we're finding that the bacteria run a certain way, but they're going to live in our body, and they are going to actually give us benefits if we keep them happy. They keep us happy, and both of us need each other to live, right?
Yes.
So it's an ecosystem within our body that's not just human cells, it's bacteria as well.
Yeah.
So if you can feed, we're trying to get away from just thinking about what we need to eat, right? It's always been, well, you need this, you need that. Well, now we have this other living organism that we're going to try to feed properly, and then understand when things don't get right, when things get off balance, when moods and things change, cravings change. A lot of that can be directed to what these microorganisms, this microbiome in your body is.
Where it's steering
Maybe it's
ya.
where it's trying to steer you, where it's trying to manipulate you, where it's trying to direct you, so that it gets fed. So if we give it the good stuff, the things that basically are here for us, provided for us to eat, whole foods, fermented foods, we'll be in a better place.
When I was in college, I'm just going to give you a quick story. When I was in college, I did, my sister was going through some natural health classes, and she can always basically convince me to do anything. She's my big sister. And I didn't know any better. But I did this crazy cleanse, and she was telling me about all the bugs and things in my body, and we did it together.
Yeah, I'm
This
always
crazy-
then in on the next level. Goes Crystal, then me.
Exactly. We did this crazy cleanse. I mean, we were eating like raw rice, like chomping it. Our jaws were sore, but it was cleaning out the bugs. We both, I remember I got so sick after that because we had literally cleaned out all of the bugs within the body. And if you do not have healthy bugs in there as well, you have no immune system. Like, you have to understand that
That's
is
a first
literally
line of defense.
where your immune system resides.
Right.
And we have cleaned it all out.
And remember,
I'll never forget that.
sometimes we have to take antibiotics. You know, that's just a fact of life. And
But
that's,
know that it
it's
wipes
gonna
it out.
it's gonna wipe you out. So you're gonna cycle that. You know, maybe you've just had some issues. So maybe like twice a year you have to cycle through some antibiotics, or maybe every other year. Just remember, you have to feed good flora, good probiotics, good
You have to build it
microbiome
back up.
into your system. You have to consciously do that, intentionally do that. So if that's another thing, then you need to even build it up. Let alone right now, if you're just starting from ground zero and you maybe are at that 50-50 and you want to just start promoting better foods, fermented foods, just to, you know, help those probiotics. But maybe you just got off, you know, some kind of infection and you really need to pump it back up.
You have to. And keep in mind, your food really honestly affects your probiotics. Like, I posted the other day that Splenda, 1 packet of Splenda will wipe out your gut bacteria by 50%, your good bacteria.
Yikes.
That's significant.
Right.
That's a big deal. You know, and you do it thinking a lot of times that you're doing something healthy.
A lot of these
You're not.
artificial things that really are produced in a lab, or bacteria don't really know what to do with them or want to do anything with them.
Exactly.
So that's why it's just important to kind of stay more in that real whole food form,
Exactly.
which is why we always promote that.
So key fermented foods, guys.
Fermented
Just go for it.
foods. So if you get anything from today,
Exactly.
feed the good bacteria, get those fermented foods. Fiber, still my favorite word. It's going to get you out of jail free. So
Exactly. Hey, so today's our 6th topic. We've had so much fun doing this with you guys. I hope that you have gotten something out of it. It's been good.
it's been a really cool 6 weeks because we've just been in some different locations just because life
Yeah.
has taken us there for different reasons. Every little location, there was a reason why we had to go there.
Exactly.
And
We're
we're
here
glad to
for-
finish it here in California.
For a good friend's wedding.
A good friend's
so
wedding,
they've
yes.
been totally awesome to us, you guys. Just like way above and beyond. It's been really amazing.
Yeah.
But if you guys have any, like, you want to hear some more topics, we want to continue to do the lives now and then. Just post them below, and we'll see what we can do.
See if we can cover them.
Address, you know, if you have certain things that you're like, I wish I knew more about this. Let us know.
Thank you
And
for Vacancy
hopefully-
Coffee right here in Newport.
Yeah, it's really good.
This has been great.
So I want to show you guys Newport Beach.
Yeah.
It's beautiful because we're already like obsessed with this. So
Well, like us here at Williamson Sport and Spine,
Yeah,
we're going to
don't
now
forget.
walk you down to the beach. Thanks for joining us for the last 6 weeks. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you soon.
yeah. But we're gonna show you the beach
We're going to show you the beach.
because you can't go without seeing that. There might be some surfers. I don't know. There's basically always surfers out there. Do you want to walk? So here's our beautiful view, you guys. It's amazing. You can't see the surfers right now, but they're down there.
They're down there. There's not as many today as there has been, but you'll see their heads pop up. Over here you can see them more.
From over
A few
there.
guys floating around out there.
And our wedding is just down here.
Here's the jetty here, so this has just been a really popular spot.
We went surfing on Thursday and got our butts kicked, you guys. This place is
Still
no joke
sore.
for surfing.
Realize that we need to work a little bit harder at being in better shape ourselves
When it comes to surfing, no
when
kidding.
it comes to that.
All right. Wait, I'm just gonna run down. I'm gonna do this quick. They're gonna be like, this is forever. I don't want to make this super long, but it's just so pretty. I don't want to pass up the chance if you've never been here. Yeah. You can see the surfers better.